Okay, I think I'm live now. So again, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. I have kind of moved things around a little bit in my room. I was trying to give myself more room because before I was squeezed into this little corner and it was just driving me nuts because I didn't have any place to put anything. So I have moved myself over, and you can't see it, but there's a big window in the background, and I just think that this will be a better location for me because I can spread out. So, okay, paper pumpkin, and I'm not sure where I put the box, but that's okay. So this month's paper pumpkin is very, very pretty. It's all these gorgeous colors, and so we've got Berry Burst. I think that's probably the new Darling Duckling, and I think there's a little bit of Timid Tiger. There's a little bit of purple. There's some soft sea foam in there. So this is just really, really pretty paper. So I actually just got this today, and what was kind of funny is I have been a subscriber since the beginning of Paper Pumpkin, and I got the welcome kit. So I think that they ran out of paper pumpkins, and so I ended up at the end of the line. And so what you get when you get the welcome kit, you get this really nice welcome. Thank you for choosing Paper Pumpkin, which I did. You always get a spot every month, and I save these, and I have a full set of spots. You can buy uninked spots, and what I've done is inked spots for all the colors that I don't have spots for, and I have them in a Paper Pumpkin box, and that holds 48 spots. So I can use those when I'm traveling because I travel a fair amount. If you know me, my son lives in Edmonton, Alberta, so I travel. And I am in Boston, Mass. So it's across the other side of the world from me. Okay, so with the starter kit, you get 9 cards, the same as everybody else. You also get a starter block. Here we go. This is it. You get a starter block with your kit, and it comes in this little paper bag or plastic bag. And so then you have your own block, and it's the same size as our block, as this one. It's just not quite as thick. So it's the same size as that block, which is, I'm not sure which block that is. Is that the C block or the D block? Can't remember now. I can't keep the block straight. But anyway, so you do get a block, and you get everything that you need to make 9 cards. And there's usually 3 designs. So there's 3 cards of 3 designs, so that's 9 cards total. You get envelopes like this, and a lot of times you can cut apart the envelope and use this paper also to make additional cards. So what I'm going to show you tonight is these are the 3 basic cards for this particular project, and I always like to make the 3 basic ones that come in the kit so that you can see what's included in the kit. And then I'm going to show you some other ideas, and I'm going to be working off the top of my head. So you never know what I will come up with. So this card is beautiful, and it uses this piece here, which you have to be really, really careful when you're punching it out because it is very, very delicate. But isn't that beautiful? And this stamp set has these stamps. So each month there's one of these which tells you exactly what the stamps are that you're getting. So there's 3 little butterfly stamps, and I have put those onto a tiny block since they're little. And then there's these 3 sentiments, and then a whole bunch of sentiment kind of sentences that go with the sentiments. So thinking of you, and then sending my love, thinking of you on your retirement, thinking of you to the happy couple, or congratulations to the happy couple, congratulations, you are amazing, hugs, I'm here for you. So these are kind of the combination of things that you can use. And then each quarter there is a set of dies that you can get. And so this set of dies will be good for April, May, and June paper pumpkins. And as you can see, here's a hugs. I think that's a hugs. Is that right? Nope, can't tell. I think that's a hugs. Or maybe not. I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, so you have this die that cuts out a tag, you have some leaves, you have a flower, and I'm not sure what this word is. I'll have to cut it out later and see what that is. But those dies will be good for 3 months, and they will coordinate with the April, May, June paper pumpkin kits. So this card, what I did was I used this card background. I attached this to the front. I stamped the butterflies, and I stamped the message, and then I attached the message to the front. So these cards are very, very basic, but they are beautiful. And again, they are always basic. So they're good for good for starting out and learning things. So this one uses this card. Oh, there we go. And it has a couple of these little pieces. And then you just stamp the message and put that over it. And what's really gorgeous about this is this has got all that embossed gold in there, which I love. I love the way Stampin' Up! Does embossing on their papers. So that I have to say that that's one of my favorite thing about Stampin' Up! Is the fact that their papers, all their colors coordinate. And this is this one, and this is the hugs that goes on here. And then I just put hugs and I'm here for you and a couple of the little butterflies. Now, if you already have some supplies, you might know that we have these brass butterflies and that we have these little birds and dragonflies. So these would be cute. You could use those as well on that to enhance it. So let's get started and let's make a couple of cards. And so what I'm going to do is put these aside. And then what I did was, so I made the 3 beginner cards, and then these cards I cut up into card bases. I'm sorry, not card bases, card layers to put on a card base. I'm going to grab, oh, maybe that isn't the same green. I was thinking that that was soft seafoam, but it's not. It looks like it could be the summer splash, because it's got a little bit more blue in it. But okay, anyway, I've got this. This is Bubble Bath, which is the lightest pink that we have. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. And then I did also grab some of the Petal Pop, which is this. And that goes with the Berry Burst. Petal Pop is a shade lighter than Berry Burst. So I'm going to cut a piece of that, and we'll make 2 different cards. What I have done is I have brought in my mixed florals set. I'm not going to color tonight. I'll color and I'll put everything out there tomorrow. And hold on, I just need to score this. Okay, so to cut a card, you take an 8.5 by 11, you cut it in half at 5.5, and then you score it at 4.25 to make a card base. For those of you that are just getting started. And I love our paper cutter. Our paper cutter is a great tool because it has this blade, which is a scoring blade, and then this is a cutting blade. And we do have replacement blades of both. So I've had this cutter now, I think 3 or 4 years. I'm trying to remember when that cutter came out. So every couple of years they improve the cutters, or something will happen. A manufacturer will go out of business, and they change the cutters. But anyway, okay. So let's do this. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And then let's do this one. That's so pretty too. So I have stamped and cut out one of the cone flowers from the mixed florals. And like I said, I did not bring any markers over, so I'm not going to do the coloring tonight, but I will color these and show you these tomorrow after I get them on. So I'm thinking that this would be really pretty on here, on that one, and that this one, I was thinking about this stamp. There's the Natural Botanicals, and I love that cone flower. So I was thinking that that would be pretty, and then I could use some of the leaves as well. So, but again, I'm going to stamp these, and then I'll fussy cut them out and put them on the papers and show you the card tomorrow. So anyway, okay, so to get started, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the front. So I'm doing this card like this. It can be, it's a side folding card, or you can have it as a top folding card if you want to do that. And actually I could go either way, but since I'm using this piece and this is long, it really needs to go that way. So I'm going to do that. And then I have a piece of white. Okay, so what I like to do is for a card that has a color on the inside, and I'm going to cut 2 of these at once, which you can do on your cutter. I cut this, so a standard card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, okay? So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, so you cut down 1/4 of an inch for each layer. So I'm going to cut a 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer for the inside of both these cards. And you can cut 2 at once, that's not an issue. So, and then, okay. So there we go. So there's the inside for our card as well. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And I think I'm done with cutting for now. So what I'm going to do is I use seal adhesive, which is this. You can also use glue. We have some Tombow. I call it the green glue because it has a green cap. A lot of people use that because they like that glue. I'm not a big glue person, but okay, and then I'm going to attach this to here. Okay, and then this one, oh, I love this with the bubble bath. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. So we scored our card, and now we're going to fold it, and we're going to crease it with a bone folder. Which gives it a nice solid crease. There we go. Okay, like that. Okay, and this one I would put on here, but first I would color it. And actually, where did my scissors go? Here they are. They're hiding on me. Oh, you know what? I do like working over here better because there's so much more room. And I've got a bunch of lights that I can put on the back. So this is a bar that was in my basement. And this was some guy's man cave when I bought the house. And so it's got this gorgeous bar. And I actually do have drinks in the back of the back behind me here in the cabinet. But so this got a little bit crooked when I was cutting, so I'm just trimming this off a little bit. There we go. Okay. And this one, so I'm gonna color that and put that together in a little bit. And then this one, let me do this. So this is a stamp where you can color on the stamp. So I have a scrap of white here. And what I'm going to do is I brought over some markers. Okay. I brought over a green marker to use for the stem. And these are Stampin' Right markers, and they come in every color. We have 54 colors now, I believe. 54, 55 colors. We have a marker for every color, an ink pad for every color, and then you can make spots for each color, or you can save your spots as they come in the paper pumpkin kits. And there's also an ink pad for each color. So, and speaking of colors, each year we have new colors that come out. They're called In Colors. And In Colors stick around for 2 years. And I'm going to make this a coneflower, which means that this part will be very dark brown. or purple. I could make that. I could have used Blackberry Bliss for that, to do the purple. And then this part would be pink. Okay, and this is Stampin' Up's ink pads are water-based ink pads. So they do dry fairly quickly. So what you do is you use your marker and you color on the ink or on the stamp like I'm doing. And then, excuse me, you can huff on the stamp and then stamp, and that kind of reactivates the ink because they do dry. Oh, that's pretty. And this is a stamp that you can actually use both sides. So you can also flip it over, and we can do this and fill in right here with the petals if we wanted to. I'm not going to do that tonight. I was actually going to stamp a couple of these. I was going to stamp the yellow, yellow. I was going to stamp a couple of yellow and a couple of pinks. So here's our stem. Is I edit them and then I put them out on YouTube, so you can find a lot of my lives out on YouTube. Let's do one of these. This is a big one. Wow. Okay, so this one we need. There we go. Ooh, that's not even going to fit on the hole. Okay. I may need another piece of white. Okay, let me grab. I do have another piece of white here. Oh, I do have a piece of white there. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to huff to kind of bring that back in. Ooh, that didn't come out too good. Okay, sometimes with these, because these are brand new stamps, you do want to clean them off. This is our cleaning pad here. And if you rub this on the cleaning pad, it kind of takes, there's like a coating on the stamps from when the stamps were cut. And this isn't, it's not rough, but it's just, it gets everything off. So let me try stamping that again. Oops, wrong thing. Okay. So this weekend is Global Scrapbooking Day. Oh, much better. Okay, and then I would use this marker or a little bit of ink to then color more of that in. So it's Global Scrapbooking Day. So on Friday and Saturday, Stampin' Up will be giving out double the rewards for orders placed on Friday or Saturday for National Scrapbooking Day. And it can be anything in the catalog. It does not have to be scrapbooking related materials, but it's just kind of in support of that. So I am thinking about, I might put a Zoom link out, and Saturday afternoon I need to work on a scrapbook for my daughter. Her 30th birthday is coming up, and I wanted to do kind of a summary scrapbook of her first 30 years. So I'm going to be doing some work on that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put a Zoom up if people are interested, and people can just kind of join in for a little bit. You can ask me questions, you know, whatever type of thing. Okay, so I am going to, it's called fussy cutting, and I'm not going to bore you with that right now, but I'm going to do those, and then I will show you the finished cards tomorrow. Okay, and this one I just need to color. So that's where we are with these. And I will finish these up. So the other thing that's going on is Stampin' Up! Did just go live with the new ordering system. And the ordering system that we've had has been around forever. It's well over 20 years old. Since I've been a demo for 24 years, and it's the same system. So it's great. The new system's going to be great. It's going to have a lot more functionality. And one of the things that I know people have been really frustrated with is when something goes on back order, all you see is a message that says unavailable, currently unavailable. And if it's currently unavailable, if it's retired, then it will say, then it will be gone. You won't find the item. But if it's currently unavailable, then that means it's back ordered. And so Stampin' Up! Is now putting into the new system, and it will be live later this week or beginning of next week. Oops. And here's my stamps. I'm just going to put these away. Okay, so I'm going to cut these up. That back order function will be going live later this week, beginning of next week. And if you want to order something and it's on back order, you'll get that message. You can put your email in, and the system will automatically send you a message when the item is back in stock, which I think is so cool because that is a function we have not had and we really, really need. So these are the stamps that go with this set. Here's the 3 little tiny butterflies. One of the things I was thinking about using for embellishments for this is this gold twine, which is really pretty. And it is still available, or at least it was still available. I think it's still available. As of this morning it was. And I love that twine. So I'm going to order a bunch of that because that is retiring, which means it's going away. And when it's gone, it's gone. So I am going to order a bunch of that. But the other thing that I wanted to show you is I came back from Raleigh recently, which is it was our Stampin' Up! Convention, or it's called On Stage, and it's our training session for the demos, and we get to see all the new stuff and play with it and, you know, learn about all the new stuff. But these are the new in colors for this year, and I think, yep, that is. This is Timid Tiger, so I think that's right there. This one is very dark. This is Secret Sea. And it's a very dark, either dark green or dark blue, depends upon the coloring that you have. This one is Darling Duckling, which is a little bit darker than, or I'm sorry, yeah, Darling Duckling. Yep, it's a little bit darker than Daffodil Delight, which is our bright, bright yellow. Strawberry Slush, which was an in color, I think about 7 or 8 years ago, and so that's back, and I love this color. This looks so good with Flirty Flamingo, which is like my favorite pink. And then there's this color called Cloud Cover, and Stampin' Up! Is very, very particular, and they have a very high level of what do I want to say? A very high level that they use to measure things by. And when this ink pad came in, so these are the regular ink pads. This is the new Darling Duckling, and there's the Timid Tiger. And when the ink pad came in, it didn't match our qualifications for cloud cover. You would stamp this ink and the color would shift and it would change. And so they sent the ink back. They've been testing it, and they found that what it is ink basically it's a chemical combination of colors. And for this particular ink, it was reacting with the pads that we have, our foam pads. So cloud cover will be available. It will be available in a re-inker, which is a little tube that we use to recolor our pads when they get dry. And you will be able to use a spot. And these are a different kind of fabric, and they don't react with it. So when cloud cover is used in a spot, it's fine and it stamps fine and everything. So it will be going live, but it will be at the spot as a spot. So I will be buying the re-inker and some of the empty spots. I actually have quite a few packages of the spots because I use, like I said, I use them, I color them myself, and then I use them when I'm traveling. So I will have some of those available for my customers and stuff. So, okay, I am going to finish these tonight. I will take pictures and then I will put these out tomorrow, and I will load this video tomorrow. So, thank you for stopping by and watching me tonight, and I hope that you have enjoyed this. Oh, if you're not on my mailing list and you would like to be, I do a newsletter each week. It usually goes out on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. This morning it went out today. And, oh, that's the other thing that I'm doing, is I always do a paper share. So in the new catalog, there's new designer papers and new ribbons, and I cut a package into 4 sections, and and then price it all out. And so I've got a paper share with all the new designer papers that are coming out, and those will be live next Tuesday, May 6th. So everybody will be able to order them, and the ribbons. And so there's a sign up on my website for the paper share if you're interested. If you want to grab some of the new papers, that would be great. So check out my website at stampwithmarilyn.com, and then also sign up for my newsletter. Hi, I'm back, and I wanted to show you the cards that I worked on, so enjoy. Okay, these are the 3 generic cards that come with the paper kit, and I love that. Isn't that pretty? This is very, very detailed. And then these are the other 2 cards. Okay, and then this is what I made. So last night I was working on, we'll start with those cards. I was working on this. So you saw me stamp these leaves and these cone flowers. So I've colored them in. I fussy cut them out. I stamped the hugs. I stamped some leaves in the background of the paper and stamped the cone flowers. And then I did also use a Wink of Stella, which does that really, really pretty glimmer type look to that. And then I always like to put a little something on the inside as well. So I did that. And this is the Botanical Garden set that I was using. And then this one is using the mixed media flowers. And I did color those cone flowers that I had, and the stems and all of that. And I tried to pick colors, that went with this. And then I added some embellishments to the side. And then again, I added this to the inside. And I worked on a couple of other cards this morning. So here's a fun fold. I did the hugs. And isn't that cute? And I added this gold to pick up the gold that's in this piece of paper. And then this is another one that I did. I love this set, the tulip set. So again, this is the mixed media florals. And so I used the tulips, cut those out, raised it up. I love this background. Doesn't that look pretty with that? And I did use the soft sea foam blends to color this, and it did work out. It's a little bit different shading than this, but I think it looks great, actually, because it's nice, soft, pastel-y look. And, oops, I did not put anything on the inside of that one. Okay, and then here's my last one. So I did 5 different cards, and this one I used one piece and cut it and turned it, and then to me, this looks like a scene that is reflected in a lake. And so I put these are from the lavender set. And so I put those in the background to show that those are trees or whatever. And then I added this to it. And this is from that other piece. I cut that one piece apart. This is from here. And what I did was I cut this up into pieces so that I could use these for different things. And you can see that I put one on this card as well. So, and I added those pieces on there, and then I did hugs. I added some embellishments, and I did not do anything to the inside of this card either. So, but I will do that. So those are my 5 alternate cards that I did, and I hope you like these. And thanks for stopping by and watching my video.